Good morning, and good morning. And welcome to the next episode of Girls Are Players Too. I am the mama.
And the daughter is me. I am she.
Oh my God. Oh, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I feel awake. I'm up. I don't know if it's because it's Friday Eve or I don't know, but feeling good. How you doing over there?
I'm doing all right. You can see I'm repping a certain sports team today.
Home
So,
team.
yeah, so we probably are going to mention them later in this episode. But, why don't we just kick things off? Uh, top story, and it's only top because it's happening tomorrow. The Cleveland Browns have decided that Shedeur Sanders is starting for their first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers.
We're going to give it up for that because, don't let us down, man. No, it's preseason, so this is where you see just how things are working, what things aren't working. Gives him an opportunity to do some throws. So yeah, this is good, and I know for him to hear his name called, it was probably just a good boost for his confidence. So don't let us down, dog.
Well, he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And, obviously with preseason, the targeted starter typically doesn't play a lot.
Yep.
So for him to be starting is kind of like, you know, does this mean that Joe Flacco is really QB1 or what? But we know Kenny Pickett was injured. Dylan Gabriel was actually injured. But they also signed another quarterback, Tyler Huntley, who who's now in the QB discussion, and certainly not one projected to make the roster, the 53-man roster. But because these other quarterbacks have some injuries, he's been signed in their practice rotation. So it'll be interesting because I'm sure Tyler, too, probably is going to get some reps in this game tomorrow. So Cleveland Browns hitting the ground running. Let's see what Shedeur can do.
The I don't want to say jacked up thing, but it's like when quarterbacks go down, it's like that's your time to shine.
I know.
So it's so unfortunate because you don't want injuries to happen or none of that, but it's like let's go. So
yeah, so
it'll be
it's
interesting. Tune into that one.
definitely. Now another story that I didn't know, and B, I'm just laughing, is earlier this week the NFL banned smelling salt for this season, and that became contentious because some players were like, wait a minute, like, how you gonna ban that? I mean, that's what I need to get my boot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And namely George Kittle literally was like, I can't believe this is happening. This is crazy. And so the NFL Players Association had to get involved and was like, okay, wait. Yes, the NFL is banning it, but if each individual team has their own smelling salt, that's acceptable.
Dude. Okay. If you've ever experienced smelling salt, when they take some blows and there might be seconds that they are out for like real quick. George Kittle, I think, holds his in his helmet because when you smell it, it's one of those woo, like, all right, let's go. Like it's a whew. So to hear and see, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, some of the athletes were like, "What am I to do without my son?" And
Exactly.
it's ammonia, and so if you've cleaned. Like if you've cleaned your house with ammonia, I mean that stuff is potent. So it is a precautionary thing. Like we don't want people just passing out, but keep it within your team, or even players might have it themselves, But it's I'm glad they were able to come to that compromise because they were just like falling on their knees, like why me? So that was an interesting, hilarious story that came out about those songs.
Well, again, we talk about the edge. Every player wants that edge. And I just never knew that something like that. And again, I'm not in football. I used to, my high was Mountain Dews to give me my energy boost. So, and trust me, when I had a Mountain Dew or two or five in me, I was like, going all day, and then I can't go to sleep, right? So I get it, but but it was just interesting that immediately when the memo came out on Tuesday, they had to go back. They had to do something quickly because people were not happy about that. So yeah.
No, not at all. But you'll see players with them in their football hat just coming around. Whew. All right, let's go.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it gets more to learn when you talk about because again, we are women and this NFL is a male dominated sport, obviously. Because I don't think we've ever had a female make the NFL as a kicker or anything.
No.
But
Mm-mm.
we talked about female coaches, and I don't know if they need smelling salt to get their boost to to,
we,
to
I'm on.
I don't know. Don't know.
we we don't know
Uh,
what happens on those sidelines,
yes, clearly. So speaking of sidelines, couple NFL coaches have gotten involved in training camp. Raheem Morris, he's the coach of the Falcons, and he was a all defensive player in his time, and he tried to challenge some of his players in practice. Practice. We talk about practice exactly. So, but to his players, they were like, "Okay, you think you doing something? Come on out here." And
Challenge accepted.
and literally got leveled. Like their top receiver, what's his name? So again, Raheem Morris, he's 41 and he played safety in college, and he was trying to defend Drake London, and that's their top receiver, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't go well. And so then he went head to head with their wideout Ray McLeod, and that's when it really like took a turn. And
First
so
of all, first of all, his name is Ray Ray, like little Ray Ray from 10th Street type of thing. What you
I'm
doing?
sure that's a nickname. I'm
It
sure
is.
Ray or Raymond or something. But
Yeah.
but it just is interesting that as a coach, you want to make sure that you're yelling, you're getting in the face of these players, and you want them to see, I'll strap up too, I'll get out here too, I'll do this, and then like, because I remember when we used to coach in AAU, the girls would always be like, Coach Moya, I can beat you, Coach Moya, or you, Coach Brittany, I can beat you. And it's like, girl, you'll
Want to
never
see
beat me,
me?
right?
They want to see me.
and so for that to see that, it's like, okay, I give them credit, but you might want to stay on the sideline, coach. Keep
It's a whole different sport. At least basketball, like you not leveling me, you not decking me, we not going to the ground. Like
Well, you could if
football,
you playing post, when you
you
playing
could,
in the
you could.
post.
But it's a lot slower motions than somebody just like ready to attack you. Like, and I don't say attack, but just that's a whole different type of contact. And kudos to him getting out there doing his thing. Because if I can get out here, y'all should be able to come on. Like, I understand that, but how was he after the fact is what I want to know.
Okay, all right. What did they do? What did the next day feel like? Right
Right.
now, Mike Vrabel, he's the head coach of the New England Patriots. This is his first year with the Patriots. Used to coach in Tennessee. He wasn't necessarily trying to go against his team in terms of like lining up, but it's been a whole lot of fights in practice for a lot of teams. He got involved in the fracas and ended up getting his chin busted or his cheek bloodied. Like,
He caught a stray trying to break something up. Sorry, Mike. You just should not have gotten yourself involved in that one. Like, just leave that one alone. Yeah, because dude caught a stray. Now he busted up.
right. So, but the funny thing is his quarterback Drake May is like, oh man, that's what we want to see. We want to see our coaches. If you gonna talk that talk, he got in and he trying to make sure we all good. That's what we're trying to build. And it starts with the coach, and it's like, okay, but he has a towel on his face and he bleeds. Like, what? you
It don't start with your coach, the head man being busted up. Like what? Ooh, okay, whatever floats for them.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, but it's been a lot of teams having fights because a lot of times what happens is in preseason or in training camp, the first teams that they play, they'll do these joint practices. So you're kind of
Yep.
going head to head in a practice setting against a team that you're going to play against in the preseason. And even though it's a friendly type, they're competing, and so, and like you said earlier, these guys, they trying to show what they can do. This is
Yep.
my time to show that I got the juice. I can do this. So, but it's been a lot of fights, players getting thrown out of practice, coaches canceling practice because it's like these scrums become a bit more tense than they thought.
Man, so we got moves that are made in the NFL. The NFL draft happened. We don't know who's where. People still holding out, boycotting, fights. It's gonna be a riot this season. It's gonna be a riot. I'm just waiting to see what happens this year because man, and this just all in practice.
I know. They
This
say
is
we
crazy.
talking about practice, and clearly it's a lot going down in practice in the
So
NFL.
none of this count, but they going at it. Great, love it.
All right. Well, a few weeks ago, we talked about Teddy Bridgewater, who is an NFL quarterback, and it's so funny. I have to tell you this. In California last weekend, I was watching Celebrity Family Feud, and obviously these are old episodes. Well, they had an episode where the NFC offense was going against the AFC defense, and Teddy
Hmm.
Bridgewater was the quarterback of the Vikings. And I was like, oh my God, like how old are these
So he was.
episodes, right? So, but it's so funny that his name is like trending because, and
Yeah,
boom, here he is with Steve Harvey on Celebrity Family Feud, and they won. They actually won that, so it was cool.
nice,
He was
nice.
in the fast money round, and he actually put
Okay.
them over the top to win their 25,000. So anyway, I digress. Teddy Bridgewater in the NFL. Left the NFL and became head coach of a high school football team. And they won their championship, their state
Yeah.
championship. After
In his
that,
first year coaching.
he went back to be a backup for the Lions in December, and ended up actually getting out on the field. Jared Goff was, he's the current quarterback for the Lions. Um, so which was interesting in itself. Like, you just won a state championship, and but you still haven't retired from the league. Well, anyway, he actually just signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a year. So now he's for real on, because he got suspended from his high school team. So he had some time on his hands.
Yeah, he does. And if y'all remember about the episode when we talked about his suspension, he was making sure the wellness and well-being of his players was taken care of out of his own pocket, y'all. So you punishing somebody, which, I mean, maybe now the school or whatever, the district looks at the policy and rules of what it means for somebody to pay out of pocket for rides and recovery things and all of that. So it may have just been a lack of a policy or something in place to know what the stipulations and things are in that. But with him having time on his hands, he is back in the NFL. It's like the privilege of being able to move and do what you love, still be a player on an NFL roster, win championships. I mean, the guy's life is great. It's just
He's
amazing.
winning right now. And that's the thing. It's like, if you something was taken from him, and what was interesting about that story was he self-reported what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
He sure did.
I don't think it was a form of bragging, like, shoot, I pay this, I do this. It was more of letting people know that it costs money to help these kids. And short of fundraising, which apparently that district or that school wasn't doing a lot of for football, because you just assume that it's football, that they have money or whatever.
Right.
I'm not really sure. I know we always had to fundraise in high school to get the things that we wanted to be able to do.
You want some candy? How about these cookies? Out of here.
Well, or they moved into selling like Snap Raise was something that you guys did, where you just donate money, and whatever you collect, the platform gets a portion, and then you get the rest, because people want the tax write-off. So, but I just think that I'm so glad that he found something after this stint because again, he was successful in 1 year, won a state championship, suspended for self-reporting what he was doing. Wasn't like he was giving money out of his pocket. He was it was going towards something to help his team, but I'm sure somebody was snitching to, a team that they played, saw his team eating sushi before games and was like, we don't get that. How come they get that?
Right. Oh. Like, Mom, it's Teddy Bridgewater, and he's taking care of all of these kids. Like, I want to note something that's really good. As a black man, for him, because sometimes when black men get penalized or things, there seems to be like a negative response to things that are taken away or done to them or what have you. And Teddy Bridgewater has just stayed even keel, like above water, like, this is what I did, like, I'm not hiding anything, I'm gonna go back to the NFL, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Like, he didn't respond negatively, he didn't, bash the school, because that's where he went to school, also where he is coaching. So it's like, he kept a positive perspective, mindset through all of this. And I just want to highlight that, because it can sometimes be a negative when something happens to our black men, and then it's like, oh well, now he's doing this or he's not doing that. So kudos and props to you, and I'm gonna just give it up to you, Petty.
And what you can also bet is whenever his NFL career is done, he has a coaching career. So
absolutely,
he's actually doing enough to plant that seed to be on somebody's sidelines in the future when his actual playing career is over. So that's even better.
He's definitely building that resume.
Exactly.
I mean, to win a championship in your first season, at a high school,
Correct.
it's almost like unheard of, unprecedented.
Right.
So
Correct.
that just yeah, just keep doing your thing. Keep doing
That's
your thing.
it. All right. Well, we gonna move into Major League Baseball.
Boom,
Uh,
boom, boom.
because we
Milwaukee, Milwaukee.
we've been very short on this just updates for the season because there are so many games that happen throughout the season. But we basically are at the point where we're under 50 games remaining. It's August 7th. Right. And so we still have August and September to go before the season is done. And then we move into the playoffs. But the Milwaukee Brewers are Major League Baseball's number one team right now with 70 wins.
Are number one, no matter if you like it, the Takers are down and right again.
So it's really interesting because uh, the Brewers are in the National League and they're in the Central Division, and they've been jockeying with the Chicago Cubs for position. And to know that they actually hold the top record right now is just amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
I am just, I'm in heaven with Wisconsin sports. I mean, I got on some Giannis shorts right now. Like we can't get away from it. Like it's just everywhere, um, and the Brewers, for the last few years have made themselves relevant. I mean, the past few years they've had good records, made it to the playoffs, but to hold that number one in the Major League Baseball, like the entire league, is phenomenal. Like that. So and with less than 50 games to go, it's kind of like now you're putting it all together, preparing yourself for the playoffs, and you keep going. So Brewers, if y'all are listening to this episode, kind of what I said to Shedeur, don't let us down. Okay, keep going, figuring out. Okay, what's been working. This is also a time to figure out. Okay, yeah, this may not be working. Let's figure out some different lineups. Whatever that looks like, so that you're going into the playoffs ready to go. But Milwaukee, we on the map, y'all. I'm excited.
Milwaukee, right? But
Yeah.
what's also interesting is the home run race. In the past, has always been a big deal in Major League Baseball. You
Mm-hmm.
remember, the Barry Bonds, and he, was questionable with his steroid or juicing or whatever. Um, uh, Aaron Judge last year was in the 60s in terms of home runs for the season. I think he actually almost had the record. If he didn't tie it, he broke the record for home runs in the season. Well, this year, right now, Cal Riley from the Seattle Mariners is the number one home run hitter, and he actually won the home run derby in the All-Star game. So he's leading with 42, okay? And 42. Now,
42.
the third place person, which, certainly not taking anything away from the second place dude, but the third place dude is Shohei Ohtani. He's the Japanese player who it plays for the Dodgers. He's a pitcher and a designated hitter, and he's third. And it's like Otani's name is just always trending in Major League.
Always
Like
in the news.
he's
Yes.
just really good
Absolutely.
now. And then fourth place is Aaron Judge with 37. So
Mm-hmm.
Ohtani has 39. Aaron Judge has 37. Now Aaron Judge missed a couple games. He had an injury. So it's not a lot. But in baseball, you could go 3, 4, 8 games and not hit a home run. And
Yes,
it'll be
absolutely.
interesting to continue to follow this. But I just thought, even though I'm out in Seattle, I support the Mariners. I am a Brewers fan through and through. And to see that my home team is repping the National League, Major League Baseball, National League division, or National League Conference, and then their division, Central, number one overall right now. And again, we still got a lot to go.
Milwaukee, Milwaukee, Milwaukee. Say it with us, y'all. Small
Okay.
market don't matter. We putting these players out there and we getting to it. That's all I gotta
That's
say.
it. That's
Okay.
what we doing. All right. So let's move into NCAA, because we mentioned that there was some chatter that NCAA college basketball was considering expanding the tournament field from 68 teams that make the March Madness tournament to between 72 and 76. So I think you got an update on that one.
It's not happening. At least for this year.
Okay.
They denied that request for the 2026 March Madness moment, or event that happens. Now, it is not off the table, however. So they will reconvene and have these discussions again, maybe seeing, okay, let's really have eyes on the field of 68 and just what that looks like. And who knows? I mean, come the year of 2027, they may still say no. We don't know. But right now, it's still going to be the same of what we've seen, 68 teams, and then, just working your way down to the champions. So
I'm happy about that.
oh
I
yeah.
just, when they expanded to 68, it's like, really? But okay, fine. You want to give some teams, some conferences a chance to be able to make it. So they started those playing
Mm-hmm.
games. But I just, that whole process is just it's just amazing. And how you take that big field and you whittle it down, and one game matters. Like when you're in the playoffs in the major leagues, you got a playoff series, 3 games, 5 games, whatever. So if you lose your first game, it's like, okay, we still got a chance. You lose your second game, it's okay, we still got a chance. But in the March Madness, and that's why college football went to that playoff, format, because now there's so much drama, and one game can catapult a team to move to higher heights, or derail a stud team that they thought was going to win the field, and they're out, So it's like, when you just keep adding, it's like, stop.
Yeah, it waters it down. And, that one game, it could be against a team you've never played against in the season. So it's also that, like, you're coming here and you can prepare for, when you're in the Big Ten, who you're playing, or you're in the SEC or the ACC, and it's like, okay, this is who we're playing. But you get to the March Madness, it's like, we don't know who these people are. And so you
Yeah,
have maybe 1 week, 3 days to prepare for a team you've never seen. So
correct.
it with what you just said, with the drama in that, it's like, it's one and done. So you keep adding, who, like, it's gonna take forever to get to the round of 64 or the Sweet 16. Like,
Correct.
come
Well,
on now.
they're
So
not gonna
I'm with you. I'm happy that it didn't happen.
but they won't change Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four. I think there's no way that
No.
they're doing that, because these become
Mm.
trademark names. Like, you can't do
Yeah.
that, But will it be more playing tournaments? Will the field start instead of 64? Will it start with 72? And which means there's an extra something somewhere. So that's where it'll be interesting. But I do think that they
Yeah.
probably need to pay attention to the format. Like, how can this really work what conferences are impacted or that are missing an opportunity that maybe they need to try to figure out how to get them in. Because I believe all
Yeah.
conferences are represented in Division One at that level. That there's an automatic bid if you win your conference tournament, you go. So that could be
Mm-hmm.
what's at play. But all right, so to close out with college sports, college football is around the corner. And we talked about
There
Deion
is.
Sanders and his health scare and overcoming his health situation with bladder cancer. Colorado is not in the top 25 when the preseason rankings came out. So there ain't nobody thinking nothing about Colorado. Now they got some votes. But right now the top team is Texas. And obviously with Quinn Ewers going to the NFL, Arch Manning is like the top thing right now.
Yes. Yeah. And somehow those Mannings stay relevant as well. Like both older brothers are completely out of the league, and then you got one coming up that's just like, all right, it's your turn to take the torch, and so that's amazing. You talk about a legacy, Lord.
Well,
But
Arch
yeah,
is
it'll be
after
very
his
interesting.
grandfather. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So Arch the dad, and then you had Peyton and Eli in the NFL. Arch Manning, the son that's in college, he is the nephew to Peyton and Eli. So his dad's name is Cooper. And so it's just,
That's right.
but to see like traditional teams that, normally are in that ranking, to see Texas at number one to start the season is like, okay, this is going down. But then your Alabamas are
Yeah.
in there. Now, who didn't also make the top 25 is Wisconsin, and they've traditionally been in the top
Then yeah.
25, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not they haven't been good the past couple years.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, like right now we are giving y'all a view into what the fall and winter will look like. I mean, it is just full of greatness. I'm so excited. Like the NFL, the NCAA, basketball, football, WNBA will be ending, but then NBA comes back around. It's just like we just keep coming. It's
It's
just
just
stuff that's just
yeah.
continuing to happen.
Yeah.
So
And with
I
college,
love it.
Ohio State won the national championship. They're ranked second right now.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, who played in the
Ooh, that's
national
interesting.
championship game, they're fifth. Oregon, who was the number one team all season and got beat in
Yep.
the playoff tournament, playoff rounds, they are eight or seventh. And then Alabama is eighth, LSU ninth, and this is the coaches poll. Now, there, the rivalry with Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan still popped in at 14, and they certainly didn't have their best season. Um, Boise State, who had the number one running back, Ashton Genty, last year, he is now in the NFL with the Raiders. They're 25th. So I mean, so it's like all of this stuff, is
Yeah.
and it's going down in 2 weeks. Like the first game
I know.
is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now everybody don't
Yeah.
play that
A lot to
weekend.
prepare for.
Yes, but the first game of the college football season starts August 23rd. So
You know, dang, it's the end point. Like
I
we
know this
here.
time
We
goes by so fast, and then I'm looking at my notes like, dang, we didn't get to that. So we'll have a carryover on Monday. But Brittany, I hope you have a really good weekend.
Yeah, it's not too much on the docket. However, it's always good, to recoup, rejuvenate. It's the weekend, so and I hope you have a good weekend with that little girl over there, my
Yes,
baby.
she is definitely living her best life. She's winning. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in for this episode of Girls Are Players Too. Have a great, great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.